It is time to wake up our extensive irrigation system. So it's late April here in North Idaho, and it's time to wake up our irrigation system from its hibernation, winterization. Our system has 40 zones, 170 heads, several quick connects. All that has to be checked and verified. So this video is about going into that extensive system. As I'm showing here on the right of the screen, it is all over the place. It has tentacles and it feels like over 4 acres. And I think that's about right, actually, when I think of it. So let's get this started and go down to where our system starts, which is right next to the reservoir. Okay, activating our irrigation system begins right here by the reservoir, and it's just a simple check of whether or not I have my valves open. So I'll pop that, and then the next step is just to move ourselves up the hill and then get into the lighthouse and start, setting that up for success, turning it on and all that. So let me go ahead and check out if my valves are accessible. Okay, we got some creepy critters in here as well. But these two valves, the one that the spider's sitting on, he just came off of it, is the one that shuts off the line going up the hill. So obviously I've got to activate that, because if it's perpendicular, then it needs to be fixed. So let's go ahead and get that going. Then this other one right here actually is open as it's going this way. It's designed to make sure that I can dump out all the water out of the system for winterizing. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. So right now we have the water running north towards the lighthouse, and we're activated. So that's all we have to do here. The only thing I need to do here is make sure my valves are running with the flow of the water, and that the access for the blowout is tightened down. So I got to make sure that that's done so that it doesn't leak out. Okay, so right here the valves are straight up, running with the water flow. This guy here is loose, so I'm going to go ahead and pop him off 100%. Yep, already done. I'm going to put some more thread sealer here on. Let's go ahead and put the thread sealer on the deal. Okay. And on he goes. It's really cool because I just use a little air compressor, just a simple one. Don't have to get too extreme, and I just I blow the thing out, and it works out every year. Okay, this is done. I had to pause and show you that Mr. Mole has buried my other box. So now I get to dig all this stuff out. This fine material that he digs out of the ground frustrates the hell out of me, because he beats the hell out of the property. There ain't nothing you can do about these guys. You can kill them, can try to kill them, and you can. And I've actually put some joking videos out in that regard. But they seem to make their way back. over to the lighthouse. I'm in the lighthouse now, and the first step is must remain open during operation. So we're going to turn that guy on. I use this valve so I can blow out the system. It is highly recommended not even to put one on this side of it, because if you turn on the system, it doesn't have the water. It'll keep increasing the pressure and blow up your lines. So I always put this red tag on here, open it up. So one of the things we have to do is make sure we lock this guy here down, this access for the blowout, get that thing put on the thread sealer. There's one on the other side. Make sure we open up the other valves, lock down the valve for the filter, and this section will be done for now. This is done for now. Okay, I'm just outside the lighthouse, and I just want to make sure all my valves are turned in the appropriate direction. Good. There's also one blowout access that I have to tighten down. Wow, Mr. Mole has been crazy. Okay, that is in the right direction. Gonna have to do something about Mr. Mole. So I have another access here, and then there's a valve down there, and that's already shut down, so that's good. But I do have to lock down that guy there, access. That's done. So this here is the backflow device, And when I originally built the system, it was going to be supplied by the cistern water. Now, obviously, you do not want water to come up from the irrigation system back into your drinking water. So you put one of these on. Today, it's not necessary for me because I pull all my water from the reservoir. Now, I don't want to break down the system, redig it, and put a new structure in, because I do want to have the option, if I had to leverage the cisterns. So unfortunately, I still maintain this, and I say unfortunately because this section right here is apt to freezing. And I'd like to get the water turned on, and during April, you get this 35, 34, sometimes 30 in the middle of the night, wind picks up, and this will freeze. And in fact, I've actually put a little short out there of when these broke right here. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my backflow device back in, and I take it out every season because this would be also apt to breaking, and I don't want that. This is the piece that matters, right? This section right here in copper is the main section. Yeah, okay, you might have some galvanized. It'll be a pain to tear apart. I've got my unions here just in case I had to, but for the most part, the real critical piece is right here. I put a little bit of WD-40 on it. We had a hell of a wind last night, and went the opposite direction of normal. So I got branches and everywhere where I normally don't. There is a valve under where I'm sitting that would activate it to be 100% cistern. But the line comes in right underneath here from the reservoir. It was a retrofit that I had to do. Of course, always got to make sure you get your arrow the right direction. Okay, there's 4 bolts, and I highly recommend doing it by hand tightening with a ratchet. Do not use any form of mechanical, because this is plastic right here. Put the bag away for next season. Okay, for all intents and purposes, this system's set up for the backyard. Ready to go. There are no other tie-ins to do here. It is completely V'd out. My controls here are these 2 valves, and they're opened up, so that's good stuff. So now it's time for me to go up to my parents' house, and in the back of the house, I want to make sure that I have that system opened up as well. Then I will crawl underneath the house and open up the front yard, because that is actually still on the cisterns. So the access to turning on that water is under the house. But the first thing I have to do for both of those locations is simply put in the backflow device. Okay, the first step is just to make sure you have your valves open, right? Now I'm gonna also check this guy here. This is where I do the blowout every year. And you leave it just a bit loose for purposes of, in case water builds up. You don't want the system to break, you want it to leak. So. Okay. That O-ring likes to pull out a bend sometimes, and this is why I use the WD-40. It's just to to give it a little bit of slip when it goes into the copper manifold here. Okay, onto the back. Okay, one more check. Make sure my valve is correctly on there. Okay, we're all good here. So the front yard of my parents' house is still on the cisterns, which requires me to activate it underneath the house. But the first step was to turn on the zone, which I've already done, so that the air blows through when the water comes in. No need to have it all shut down because the water won't go anywhere because there's air in there. That is the valve right there that I need to turn straight on with the water line. The other one shuts down because now that backyard is on the reservoir. So someday I'm going to reroute the water here so that I don't have to worry about that, which would require me to put a valve right here. And I don't have the tool for that yet, so I haven't done it yet. And that is it. So now with everything in place, it's time to turn on the system. So it's an easy deal. Just says auto start, hit the button, and if all's good, we should hear water. Okay, this is the reservoir water coming up. So the system is now live, and that's a good thing. So let me put in some flags because I've got another project to do. Okay, with the irrigation all turned on, I'm going to call this video over. You know, hey, it turns out pretty good. System works well, structured well. We did add some retrofits along the way, which is a little extra step, but only one. And other than that, hey, here we go. Let the grass grow. See you soon.